Alright, T for Teen like always. Today I'm making a video about threat, specifically for warriors. Blackwing Lair is out now, and there's a lot of mobs that are immune to taunt, and so understanding how your threat works is super helpful. Alright, Revenge is your highest threat, not your highest threat ability, your best threat per rage ability. 315 is its base threat, and then it's plus the damage. The average damage is about 71, so we get roughly 560 threat with this ability. The damage will reduce slightly based on armor, but because the damage amount is so low, it's pretty negligible. Alright, moving on. We got Sunder. Sunder is what you want to spam all the time. There's no cooldown. You don't have to worry about proccing it like Revenge. And it'll be 12 to 15 rage based on whether or not you have the talents, and it gives 377 threat. So, spam those out, plus the reduced armor helps all the melee DPS boost their damage a bit. Shield Slam. Shield Slam has a base threat of 250. Its average damage is 350. You do the math, you get 870. This one will be doing less than 870 because of 350 is a significant amount of damage, and based on how much armor the target has, it can be reduced by quite a bit. Like 50% would be a very large reduction, but that'd put the damage down to 175, which would change your threat by quite a bit because that'd be before the multiplier. So just be aware, like, this 870 looks great. It's actually going to probably be closer to 650, 700. But it's just depending on the armor of the mob you're fighting, which your Sunders will help with as well. So hopefully by the time your Sunders are out, this one will be doing better threat for you. Heroic Strike, I think, is the most misunderstood ability. It has a base threat of 145, plus it adds 138 damage to your attack. So that gives you about 410 threat. Again, based on armor, this will be reduced slightly, so it'll be less than 410. For the rage cost, I have that it's 12 to 15, and then you'll see question marks at the end. This is because of when you use this ability, you don't gain any rage from that attack. So you're burning rage instead of picking up rage. So it's the actual rage cost of the ability ends up being more than just the flat rage cost. A lot of people talk about spamming Heroic Strikes is great for boosting rage a lot higher. That's because of Heroic Strike goes off your weapon swing, and it doesn't have a global cooldown. So if you're using a fast weapon, spamming Heroic Strikes because you got plenty of rage, you can use that with your other abilities without having to worry about the interruptions of cooldowns. So it will boost your threat significantly, but you have to have enough rage to be using it. If you're low on rage, skip Heroic Strike, stick to Sunders, Revenge, and Shield Slam. Alright, Shield Bash. You wouldn't expect to see this in a normal threat thing, but this is really good at low levels, actually. You won't be using it at higher levels because of its, very close to your Sunder threat, and your Sunder doesn't have a cooldown, and you don't have to worry about saving it for interrupting abilities or anything. And yeah, you'll just use Sunder instead, obviously, unless you didn't spec into it and it's the full 15 rage cost. Then you can throw this out if you're not worried about interrupts, and it'll give you a good amount of threat per rage. Its base is 180, its damage is 45, and so it comes out to be about 320. At any of the lower levels before you get your final Sunder, Shield Bash all ranks gives the base of 180 threat. So at lower levels, this is more efficient for rage use for building threat than your Sunder armor is. So if you aren't worried about interrupting heals or mana burns or any of that, or curses and whatnot, you can go ahead and throw this out whenever it's off cooldown to help build up rage. It'll actually be, or not rage, threat. It'll be actually be pretty beneficial for you. Your shouts, there's Demo Shout. It does 43 base threat. You do the math, and it comes out to about 62 threat. It'll get that on every mob it hits. It's great to use when trying to pick stuff up that you aren't quite in range of, or on an initial pull. It helps make sure the aggro doesn't go straight to your healer or on a mage that just rebuffed their armors or something, because all buffs generate threat. Because all buffs generate threat, your Battle Shout can actually be pretty helpful. Your Battle Shout will do a base of 70. You do the math, it ends up being about 101 threat. And this is per player buffed. So if you're all 5 people in your party are there and you use it, you'll get 500 threat. And then it splits between the mobs because that's how all buffs and healing works. It's always divided between all the mobs. So, but if you're only fighting one mob and you can get your whole group together or your whole party's near you, you'll get 500 threat on that mob for just 10 rage. Super efficient. Additionally, there's no worry of misses because your buffs always land on your friendly players. And if there's other mobs, it'll be split between them, obviously. But it's really cheap too. So like if you can get the full 500 for just 10 rage, it's one of your best abilities. Other than that, you should be all set. Good luck. I hope you get geared up quick. Hopefully you can get all the gear and get to Fury Prot so you don't have to worry about your rage as much. Alright, have a good one. Bye.